we will be placing this script source into the footer element, as we can see right over here. So press Ctrl S. Now if we head back to our project and reload, and we can see that still it is not working. This is due to the fact that in case if we want to run accordion or any this kind of components which is related to JavaScript in our project, then all we need to do, we need to install the jQuery first. This is the first and obvious thing. So we will be heading back to Google, and here, so we will be now looking for this jQuery right over here. So this is the jQuery CDN, and we can see that the same library CDN.js, the free and open source, and if we now click on it, there it goes. And we can see that this is the JQuery.min.js, which we are practically looking for. So we need to use this individual jQuery into our project in an order to run the accordion feature component properly. So all we are going to do, we will be copying this URL, and if we head back to our text editor, in the first place we will be creating another script source right over here. We will be pasting it, we'll be using it over here. Okay, now everything has been done, but in the last case we need to initialize the accordion into our UI Semantic project. That is why let's head back to their official website, and here all we can see that in this usage section, this is the initialization of an accordion, and accordion will be initialized on a pre-existing markup if we use this initialization process. So all we need to do, we need to copy it. Let's head back to our project, and at the bottom we will be initializing our UI accordion. Press Ctrl S. Now if we head back to our project and reload, and now if we click here, we can see that practically this accordion part is now working. Now a couple of questions over here. First of all, if we do place the jQuery right below the JavaScript that we are using in this particular case, and if we press Ctrl S, so what will be the significant effect? Because now at the first place we are using this UI Semantic.min.js, and next we are using the jQuery in the second place, and the rest of these things like this UI accordion initialization, it remains the same. So what will happen in this particular case? If we head back to our project and reload, and if we now click, we can see that it is not practically working. This is due to the fact that the semantic.min.js, it practically requires some features which should be loaded into the user's machine or computer in the very first place. So actually what it is going to do, it is going to use some dependencies which is dependent on the jQuery.min.js, and that is why before running the semantic.min.js in the browser, the jQuery.min.js is practically scheduled to be run first, because it is injecting all those required components into the web browser before loading the semantic.min.js UI component into our project. So that is why in an order to run things properly, we need to use this jQuery on the top of everything, because it is going to inject all the components into our project in the very first place, and that is why we need to run them in the very first place. And in the second case, we are now practically running on with this semantic.min.js. Now if we press Ctrl S and head back to our project and reload, and now we can see that the accordion is now back on track. Everything is now back. Now in the next case, as we had done earlier, we practically placed all these accordion components inside this UI container. So first of all, let's remove it, and we will be removing the rest of this div elements right over here. Now if we press Ctrl S and head back to our project and reload, we can see that without using any kind of container into our project, the accordion is now placing it itself, aligning it at the extreme left side of your page. So that is why, in order to bind it properly at the middle of your web page, we are practically getting used with this individual container, this individual grid, this row, this column, this kind of elements right over here. This is the next thing. In the next case, if we head back to their official website and let's get back to this definition, we can see that this is the styled version of UI accordion. So if we now view source and if we now copy this code here, let's head back to our project, and first of all let's remove this accordion from right over here. It will be restored, and now if we use this styled accordion, as we can see that we had just used a class known as styled into our project. So if you now use this styled class here, and if we press Ctrl S, heading back to our project and reloading, we can see that this is the styled accordion that we are practically using in this particular case. The next thing is we need to use a full width container sized accordion into our project. In order to do so, we'll be heading back, and here with this styled class we will be now using a fluid class. Press Ctrl S, let's head back to our project and reload, and we can see that practically this accordion is now taking up the whole container width. Now this is it up to this far. As we can see that this is the accordion that we had created into our project. We have practically used the UI accordion component into our project. Hope you guys have liked this tutorial. If you guys have liked this tutorial, then do not hesitate to hit that red subscribe button down below. Hope to see you guys in our next tutorial. Till then, bye.